Is ZZZ worth of its nomination of the best mobile game of the year for TGS 2024? The short answer? Yeah. And I guess that's it. Thank you so much for watching. But you didn't come here for the short and sweet answer. You haven't been brainwashed by the TikTok brain rot. You're here for a genuine, well thought out video with nuance and statistical analysis. Well, that video doesn't have too much of that either. Let's just get into the conversation. Potentially for those who have never heard of Zenless Zone Zero, here's all you need to know.
Oh, have something to say. Bean bun. Good children will be rewarded.
Just kidding. The game is more than that. It also has furries. Zenless Zone Zero is Hoyo-verse's newest take on the action RPG genre, with its main focus on the mechanics of parrying and quick swapping to create different combos. Paired with Hoyo-verse's knack for amazing character development, a signature genre of art, style, and flair for the comical, you get a game that can relate to all the middle-aged gooners and goonettes who have money to blow. But how does this game compare to that of the market, and is it at a level where we can say it is the best game of the year? Let's break it down into a few facets after you hit the subscribe button. Firstly, let's take a look at money. Yes, money baby, stonks, gotcha, that's what it's all about. And this game is rolling in dough. According to Pocket Gamer, as of October, the game has generated a revenue over 150 million. A feat that actually is amazing for any other gacha, but compared to its bigger brother and sister, it's actually not as surprising, and actually falls short as the slowest grossing of the three titles. But why is that? As a seasoned player from the jump, ZZZ never really put its best foot forward. Most folks, even to this day, will complain about a few gameplay mechanics, such as the TV system, where you're able to traverse the hollows or the corrupted spaces of the in-game world. It feels quite dissociating and slow at times, versus now the game having put characters at the forefront like their other titles, seen much better success. And as for the numbers of revenue directly, the characters that they've released haven't been the most fan favorite. Ellen Jo and Ching Yi were alright introductions to the game. However, now that the game is nearing 6 months in, we are getting our very first overall fan favorite character, Hoshino Miyabi, a katana wielding ice user who's so cold she's hot. No, like seriously, her ice attacks are like, they look like flames. It's actually super sick. So it's to be determined after this first release what the upward trajectory of this game can be, versus games like Wuthering Waves, the direct competitor in this race, having released its biggest guns first. And I do mean biggest guns. Next, let's look at quality. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think this is the best game of the year from an aesthetic standpoint. Yes, you can say that the more detailed, darker aesthetic might be more to your liking, but the way in which they present characters in ZZZ is like nothing other gacha games have been able to do before. The mixing of storytelling from comic panels to in-game models to the absolute best of animations we've seen this year. Sure, the in-game comment of Wuwa is fluid and much more technical, but the overall look and feel of ZZZ, I do have to give the leg up to, regardless of how much fan service each game gives. And let's not just talk about the aesthetics. From a gameplay and structural standpoint, ZZZ is made to last, with many small minigames or flagship events popping up every week to immerse you into the ever-growing world of New Eridu. To its arcade games that'll keep you in there all night long. Of course, we can't forget about the combat, which is only getting more diverse the more characters are released, which personally, I can't say the same for Wuwa, as my experience is that they're all flashy and work at a very similar pace. Whereas ZZZ characters are much more distinguished by their gameplay and looks, and the combat, like the tower, that mimics DBZ or Dislike will be a very effective way to keep players interested in climbing higher. After that, let's take a look at the market sentiment, as much of it, truthfully, is a popularity contest. And here's where things get interesting, because another netizen in one of the Twitter comments of the nominee announcement made a great point, that Genshin and HSR were not nominated even though they're ongoing products, who still have the right to participate. This means that Pocket TCG beat out Peak Coney. I know Pokemon is hot, and I'm just in love with my Mewtwo and Gardevoir deck as the next person, but it's no Acheron or Firefly or even Parappa Larappa. And Genshin, well, I mean, Genshin did put out Arlecchino and some of its best storytelling with Fontaine and Natlan this year. But let's be honest, people didn't vote for Shaq for 5 years straight, LeBron for 4, and Curry for 3. What I mean to say for those who aren't ballers is that there is voter fatigue. It's a real phenomenon and allows for these awards to give a spotlight onto budding nominees like a Wuwa or a ZZZ. Since as of now we've generally looked at only 2 games, Wuwa and ZZZ, for those who are already voting for those games, we know why you're voting. But what about the others? Balatro has a more PC-oriented audience, having its origins be from the Steam store and console audiences, which means that they are out there, but I don't believe that the audience will be enough to crack the top 2. Then there's AFK Journey, which has had a solid run this year, but after its initial burst onto the scene, it's been relatively quiet. And finally, Pocket TCG, another mobile game that I'm playing myself. And as someone who loves the card game, vets and beginners alike can both find a great experience with PTCG. But is the Pokemon audience that strong to trump the mighty will of the 2D anime waifu aficionados? Well, that's yet to be seen. And now we've come to the end, but one last question that we have to answer. Yes, with all of these points above, ZZZ does deserve its nomination, but does it have what it takes to win? Does its unique concept of bringing in Western movie genres with multicultural references and elements, alongside a striking gameplay that feels and even sounds good, warrant the award for Best Mobile Game of 2024? And unfortunately, I can't answer that. I never could, because the answer lies with you. Yes, you. So make sure to go put in your vote for the Best Mobile Game of the Year for TGS 2024, and we'll see you guys back in December. Thanks so much for watching. I mainly covered Genshin and ZZ content here on this channel, but make sure you guys comment down below who you guys are actually voting for. Click on this next video because YouTube thinks you'll like it. My name's Josh, and we'll see you in the next one.